it increasingly looks like Bitcoin is the neutral reserve asset choice of the West. Think about the implications of the world's biggest commodity producer bidding for Bitcoin. Are you kidding me?
It's a new year and Bitcoin is poised to completely change the global economic order. What are the implications of Trump's trade tariffs and his proposed strategic Bitcoin stockpile on the post-1971 dollar system? Are you truly prepared for Bitcoin to become the new global neutral reserve asset? Today we dive into how the game has completely changed going into 2025 and why there's a good chance this Bitcoin cycle could be completely different than previous ones and how you can prepare for it. As we enter a new year and the beginning of a new US administration in a few weeks, the fate of the global economic order stands in the balance. He hasn't even been sworn in yet, and Trump is already talking about taking a tough stance on international trade through cutthroat tariffs in an attempt to protect and grow American industries and reduce trade deficits. On top of that, he's been vocally pro-innovation, pro-technology, and of course pro-Bitcoin, as has been discussed at length on this channel. Trump and many in his cabinet and inner circle have hinted and teased repeatedly at the very real possibility of implementing a strategic Bitcoin stockpile or reserve, not unlike the reserves of gold or oil that the US already holds. But what are the true implications of these decisions on the global economic order in 2025 and beyond? Macro and investing expert Luke Gromen was on Preston Pysh's podcast yesterday, and he talked about what these critical decisions could mean for the future of the post-1971 dollar system.
There's this structural dynamic that is huge in terms of not just how it completely breaks the flows that define the structure of the post-71 dollar system, right? Where we're net settling in financial assets, right? Bonds and stocks. That is broken. And so there's going to be something else that starts to be settled in. We're basing 100% tariffs as take your capital elsewhere. Go do something else with it. They're going to move to a neutral reserve asset because we know China's got a closed capital account. They're not going to let you buy Chinese government bonds to settle this crap. They're certainly not going to let you buy Chinese industry. It's going to be gold, or increasingly it's been fascinating to me to watch post our conversation in July in Nashville. It's really accelerated. It increasingly looks like Bitcoin is sort of like at least if not the neutral reserve asset choice of the West. Like I retweeted it on Friday or Saturday. Like Bessent is meeting with Lummis. Like that's fascinating to me. That's absolutely fascinating to me. And she's saying like, we're talking about a Bitcoin reserve. Like I would not have bet that tweet would have taken place even a week before. So things seem to be moving really fast. To your point about, Russian language media came out this week or 2 weeks ago, excuse me. State Duma introduced a Bitcoin reserve all in Russian. You gotta, I didn't see it anywhere on Bloomberg. I didn't see it anywhere on Reuters. I didn't see it anywhere on CNBC. I had to translate the friggin' article from Russian in Google Translate, but there it is. And so, think about the implications of the world's biggest commodity producer bidding for Bitcoin. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The implications. Sell oil, buy Bitcoin. So
there's that it's not even covered. Not even
covered. And that's why I say that the big structural impact ultimately is, tactically, inflation, dollar up, disruption, whatever. Okay. Interesting. But to me, that's not that's the warm up. Like to me, the main event is 100% tariffs to force people from exiting the dollar system will nearly instantaneously drive the ending of the post-71 dollar system, because the world is not going to sit and, we're going to starve because of these tariffs. No, they're going to go, hey, Russia, I see you're settling in Bitcoin. Great. Or gold, whatever they got to do. They're going to move to gold and Bitcoin, some mixed way, shape, or form. And the reality is like gold and Bitcoin aren't priced in the correct zip code.
Yeah.
If this is even directionally accurate, like Bitcoin would need at least one, a different digit in front of it, at least, and probably, and gold probably needs one too.
Now, Gromen talked about the author of the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Bill, Senator Cynthia Lummis, and her meeting with Trump's new Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent. Lummis posted photos of the meeting with Bessent, who has been pro-Bitcoin for a while, saying he will be a champion for digital assets and a critical ally in passing her Strategic Bitcoin Reserve plan. One thing I found interesting about Gromen's analysis is the unintended consequences of Trump's trade tariffs being a faster unwind of the post-1971 dollar system and a move towards a more neutral reserve asset. Enter Bitcoin. Depending on what the Trump administration actually does in 2025 regarding Bitcoin and trade, it will inevitably heavily influence many other top GDP countries in the world to take Bitcoin seriously. MetaPlanet CEO Simon Gurevich was interviewed at the Academy Awards of Bitcoin, or Michael Saylor's 100K New Year's Eve party, about his company being the first one in Japan to adopt a Bitcoin reserve strategy, and the possibility and implications of a US strategic Bitcoin reserve on other countries around the world.
I'm slowly but surely seeing Bitcoin becoming a topic of discussion at the highest levels of government. Corporations around the world beginning to adopt it as a Bitcoin standard. In April, for us, that's when we decided that we wanted to adopt Bitcoin, and now all we want to do is accumulate more Bitcoin over time for our shareholders. And so 2024 will go down as the year where it all began.
The year where it all began, and also sort of like Donald Trump following your footsteps, because now he's saying he's going to have a Bitcoin strategic reserve. Do you think that's actually going to happen?
Absolutely. Being a non-American, perhaps I can say this definitively. I do think that the Bitcoin community in the U.S. helped elect the president, and so hopefully President Trump will do what he has said that he will, which is to make Bitcoin a strategic reserve, and then countries around the world will follow. Japan is one of those countries where they do look to the U.S. as sort of their big brother and follow in their footsteps, and so I think if President Trump does adopt it as a strategic reserve, then Japan and many other countries in Asia will do the same.
And it's not just the MetaPlanet CEO who thinks more countries will announce a Bitcoin reserve strategy in 2025. Polymarket, an online betting platform, is predicting a 75% chance a new country will be buying Bitcoin this year. All of this is leading to what will most definitely be an incredibly interesting 2025 from a geopolitical and monetary order standpoint. So this begs the question: are you prepared for what is looking like the real possibility of a totally different paradigm of what a Bitcoin bull cycle looks like? We're already well into this bull market, and the Bitcoin price action has looked quite a lot different when compared to previous cycles. We've had the large and quick price moves up, but instead of the large corrections, the dips have been relatively tame and have been followed by more lengthy sideways consolidations, like the one that lasted 7 months after we hit a new all-time high early last year, and the one we are in now after breaking through 100K at the beginning of December. The effects of the ETFs and the institutionalization of Bitcoin as a viable store of value, coupled with the global economic and nation-state narrative shift, has quite possibly changed the game completely. I think this cycle could look very different from previous ones, and it's my hope that people are not too preoccupied with expecting the very same thing to happen. Bitcoin is clearly maturing, so it would make sense for its price action and cycle dynamics to mature as well. So are you prepared for a slow, methodical climb more steadily up throughout 2025 and beyond without the telltale 80% drawdown? Now, I'm not saying we won't have larger corrections. It's of course safe to assume past performance will continue until it doesn't. But the reality of institutional buying through the ETFs and larger companies like MicroStrategy and Tether, coupled with the geopolitical chess match playing out before our eyes, could very well mean things are very different this time around. So be prepared for all outcomes, and don't be quick to assume it will be easy to predict what will happen this year. The best strategy is to hold a position of Bitcoin for the long term and fight the urge to trade in and out. Do you want to be caught on the sidelines waiting for a huge drawdown that never materializes? What if it just keeps steadily climbing up for several years? So sleep soundly at night by holding a position for the long term and setting up a recurring buy plan through services like Swan. Go to swan.com or search for Swan Bitcoin in the App Store and sign up and begin buying Bitcoin in minutes. Plus, you get your first $10,000 in Bitcoin purchases with 0 fees. Also, visit swan.com/card to sign up and get priority access to our newly announced premium Bitcoin Rewards credit card. Also, a quick shout out to Mara, the largest publicly traded Bitcoin miner, for supporting the show and helping make Bitcoin the world's most decentralized and secure monetary network. Let me know what you think of this incredible setup for Bitcoin in 2025. Like this video, share it with a friend, and subscribe to the channel for more high signal Bitcoin content. Thanks for watching, and remember, TikTok next block.